Hi guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and today I'm going to be doing a first. So, all through my life, I have almost never gotten rid of a book unless I've absolutely hated it. I think I could count like 5 different occasions where I gave up books just for the sake of giving up books. Books I didn't like, books that I think people would find other enjoyment out of, and today I'm going to be doing the same thing. It's not that I hated these books, but some of these books I actually had a fun time with. Here's some of the books that I'm giving away. Oh wait, if you notice my shelf is a little bit more empty, that's also another thing I'm doing. It's not that I necessarily hate these books, but I've also lost interest in some of my TBR books, so I cleared off my TBR shelf. I've cleared off most of my red shelf. I'm gonna be rearranging my bookshelves again so I could film an actual bookshelf tour like everyone's been wanting me to do an updated bookshelf tour, and I haven't had time to actually rearrange my bookshelf, and it's something I really want to do. I mean, I've got a lot of books. They need to go on the shelves, but my shelves are like overflowing with no room because I have too much books and not enough time to read them. So that's another reason why I'm getting rid of some of these books. But let's get started with the biggest one in my book unhaul. I am unhauling a whole 12-book series in this one, and if you've been around my channel, you'll probably know what it is, because at first, whenever I was a freshman in high school, I loved these books. I faithfully read these books until the last one, which is still going to be on my TBR shelf. I actually have it right down here with me so I can remember the order of these books. So I could show it to you, but the book series I'm going to be getting rid of is the Mark series by PC and Christian Cast. Like I said, I didn't hate this book series. I actually really liked it until book 6 came out, and until it ruined it for me. This should have been, honestly, a 6-book series. I feel like the authors just did it for a cash grab, so I'm no longer going to be supporting these two authors because they drew this series out way too long. A lot of their books were fucking pointless. It's just started off good, and then it just wasn't good anymore because they just wanted more money. If you want more money, set things like you have a whole school to focus on. This is the House of Night series. You could take it from a perspective of another character and just cut the main one out so you could Cassandra Clare it for all you want, and you still would have probably made money, but unfortunately a lot of people lost respect for these two authors because they just kept going. They didn't respect that maybe the story should have ended and they should have focused on a new one, but trial and error, I guess. So this series that I'm getting rid of includes Marked, Betrayed, Chosen, Untamed, Hunted, because I don't have the covers to some of these, Tempted, which is my least favorite, and I'm happy to get rid of, Burned, Awakened, Destined, which I don't have a copy of because I checked it out in my library, Hidden, Revealed, and last but not least, Redeemed. But I'm keeping hold of Redeemed because I still need to finish this series off. If I don't care to keep a physical copy, I'll audiobook the rest of this book so I can just get rid of this one once and for all, and I never have to deal with that series again. Again, the next book I have here is a book a lot of people are going to get heated about, because I know a lot of people love this series. I personally just hate the main character so much that I can't get into this story. I like the side characters, I just hate the main character so much. And I won't give the series a chance because I hate the main character, and if you hate the main character of a story, what's the point of reading a story, if you know what I mean? So the book I'm talking about is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I hated this series. I'm more a fan of her Court of Thorns and Roses series, even though A Court of Thorns and Roses I don't like that much. It was really boring up until the ending. And this one suffers from the show and tell. The tell more than show trope, which, you know, she's just telling you this happened, she's not showing you that this has happened. And, you know, all the badass assassin stuff never happens in this book. Like, if I want to read a book about a badass assassin, if you're promoting that to me, there better be some badass assassin shit in here. There wasn't. Just a girl with multiple sections of describing dresses, and even describing her period, which, I'm a girl, it's okay to discuss your period, but, you know, if I want badass assassin stuff, I want badass assassin stuff. I don't want period talk. I want talk about assassins. It's just so weird for a fantasy book to talk about periods. I mean, I get it. It's realistic, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't want that in my fantasy books. Like, if I want realistic stuff, I would read contemporary, if you know what I mean. But, so, the next book I have here is In the After by Demetria Lunata. I received this in one of my book subscription boxes, and every single book from that book subscription box is actually in this unhaul because I was not in. Well, they sounded interesting. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna read something, keep something on my shelf if it's just gonna sit there and collect dust. I've been doing that enough, and it's time to declutter my space. So that one's gonna have to go. Next one is The House by Christina Lauren. Lauren, like I said, got in a book subscription box, no interest whatsoever. Ever. The same with Drowning is Inevitable by Shalanda Stanley. Stanley, never gonna get to it. Got it in a book subscription box, not gonna read it. Read it. Don't Fail Me Now by Una Lamarche, not gonna read it. Plus, there's a bloodstain right there, and that's just gross. If I get you from a book subscription box, you better be worth it. Next I have is Kindness for Weakness by Sean Goodman. Like I said, no interest in. There's a red mark down there, so I don't know what that is, and I hate unidentified stuff in my books. Books, especially if they're, again, from book subscription boxes. And then I also have here Apple and Rain by Sarah Crossan. I'm sad to see this go. It sounded a little bit interesting, but I'm possibly never going to read this. So, again, book subscription boxes. Maybe I should stop getting them except L-Crate, because L-Crate seems to be the only book subscription box that I'm actually sticking to. So the next one I have here is The Vampire Diaries by L.J. Smith, which is a surprise because I love the show Vampire Diaries, but if you read this adaptation, you know this is nothing like the TV show whatsoever. I watched the TV show because it was based off a book and it sounded interesting, and then I watched the TV show and I was on season 1 of the TV show and I was already so immersed in the characters and so into my love for Damon Salvatore. Then when I read this and Damon was like 20 times more of a dick than he is in the series, I was just all like, I don't like that. I don't like Damon in this book. I hate every character in this book, no joke. There was not a single character in the specific story that I didn't hate. I hated Steven because he was just a goody two-shoes, and I was like, can we please not make Steven like 100% goody two-shoes in these 2 installments. I mean, I don't really like Steven on the TV show either. Steven is like one of my least favorite characters, but my god, was he just like so annoying in this book? And don't get me started on Elena. Oh my god, if I could pick the most naive teenager in a book series, it would be Elena fucking Gilbert, because my god, it's kind of like you only knew the guy for 3 days. Not joking, I think I can. I think they knew each other for maybe like 3 days, maybe 3 weeks. Weeks before the ending of the second book happened. And I'm just all like, oh my god, such a horrible way to write books. Which is very weird because I enjoy most of L.J. Smith's works. Vampire Diaries just wasn't for me. Same with The Secret Circle. I tried The Secret Circle. Put it down in one chapter. It was so fucking boring. Boring. Next series I read when I was really young, and I never really got around reading the rest, and I'm not gonna pick up the rest whenever I even forgot what the story was about. It was just a forgettable story, and that's Vampire Kisses the Beginning by Ellen Schultz. You see, I can't even pronounce the last name of this author. Like, I was in my teenage vampire phase. I was looking for vampire stories after I read Twilight. Yes, I read Twilight, okay? It was a rite of passage for my teenage years, and no, I really don't hate the books as much as other people do. So I'm not gonna apologize for liking Twilight, because I read it whenever I was like 15, so I was in the demographic for Twilight when I read it. So I wanted more vampire books, and well, awesome books like Vampire Academy, which is my most favorite series of all time, came my way. Books like these also came my way. Vampire Diaries I hated. This one was okay, but it wasn't memorable for me, and I just didn't get it somewhat. There's just something I didn't like about it, so I never picked it up. I thought where it ended on the second book was good enough, and I wasn't intrigued to find out what happened next, so I never did. So, on to the whole, me being a teenager and looking for more vampire books, I read a couple of the Blue Blood series by Melissa de la Cruz. These two I've read. I think I have one over there that I needed to read, but it's been so long since I've read this series, I've literally forgotten what happens during these books, and honestly, I don't want to read this series, so I'm giving up these books, and the other book that I was on. I did also rent them from the library. So, next one, I'm not really getting rid of. I have 2 copies of this, so I don't need this copy. So, the next one is Fallen by Lauren Kate. I already have a signed copy of this, so I'm getting rid of my extra copy of Fallen by Lauren Kate. While I hate the romance in this book, I do love Cam as a character, so I'm keeping this because my love for Cam is real. He's just like one of my favorite bug people. Next one I have here is Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. I got this in one of my Owlcrate subscription boxes, and I read the first page and I didn't really like it. I just don't like the writing style, so I'm gonna give this up, unfortunately. Sounds like a good book, it's just I can't get past the writing style. So the next one I have here is Whiteout by Vicky Delaney. How I got this book in my possession is my sister's friend actually gave us a bunch of books, and I kept this one for whatever reason. So I don't know what this is about. I have no interest, so I'm not gonna keep it. Next book. Actually, I'm just gonna go through these ones. I have Fallen by Michael Huff. Again, got it from my sister's friend. Warrior by Angela Knight. Got it from my sister's friend. And tragedy romance novels that I get for like 90-something cents. Cents don't really do it for me anymore, so that's gone. Same with Matters of the Heart by Danielle Steele, and I hear she's a pretty popular romance novelist. I'm just not into it, so that's going. Same with Baby It's Cold Outside by Jennifer Green, Marlene Liss, and Cindy Myers. This is just like a collection of 3 short stories, and those are like really short for a book of 3 stories, so I'm not gonna keep it. I'm also getting rid. I might actually keep this Archie comic. It was a random thing that my mom gave me, so I'm like, I don't know. Should I keep the Archie comic? Not sure. I also am letting go of My Soul to Say by Rachel Vincent, because I had the first book. I'm keeping the first book because I liked it, but I'm not going to continue the series, so I'm giving up the second book in the series. The next one I have is 30 Guys in 30 Days by Michael Osto? And this is basically a marketing campaign of how to meet the boy of your dreams in a month or less. And there's like a lot of these books in this series. I just have no interest in it. Maybe whenever I was a preteen or a teenager, but not today. Next one I have here is Fade to Black by Alex Flynn. I forgot I had possession of this book. I don't know what it's about. It's really short, so I guess I could get through it, but I'm not going to. Next book I have here is Awake by Lisa McMahon. I'm not keeping this because I need a new copy of it. It was pretty interesting, but I'm not going to continue the series. And that has a lot of sudden damage, and I mean a lot. Next one I have here is The Fifth Way by Rick Yancey. I actually got this from Goodwill because I was scouting the shelves. I got to chapter 5 when I realized that I'm not going to finish this book because it's way too boring for me. And from what I heard, it doesn't get better, so I'm not going to finish that. Next one I have here is A Sand Castle Empire by Kayla Olson. I got this in an Alcrate subscription box. I read the back synopsis, wasn't very interested, obviously, if I haven't read it yet, so I'm gonna put that one to the side. A lot of people are gonna hate me for saying I want to get rid of this one, but I got to page 34 when I realized I don't really have an interest in it, and that Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I applaud Morgan Matson because a lot of people love her books. I'm just personally not a fan. I wouldn't say I'm not a fan because I've never really fully read one of her books, but I guess I'm just not into contemporary anymore. So I'm gonna give this one up. The next book I'm gonna get hell for, but I've tried to read the series twice. I almost got to the end. Like, I got to page, no joke, 354 on my first try. I tried to read it again, got bored again. I guess I could finish it, but what's the point if I don't remember what happened in it? And that's Delirium by Lauren Oliver. I have a love-hate relationship with Lauren Oliver. I think her book synopses are interesting, and I wouldn't mind reading her books, but her writing style, I don't mesh with. Obviously, I could read one of her books if I got that far into it. It's just, I was bored, and I was uninterested. And I'm not gonna read this book because the more people try to force me to read it, the more I don't want to read it. And I'm sad to give this one up because it's got such a gorgeous heart cover, This is gorgeous, but I can't read this book anymore. I just can't. Next one I got is Zodiac by Romina Russell. I'm not gonna read this because I tried reading it, didn't like the writing style. Well, astrology fascinates me to no end, and 13th sign is intriguing. And the main character is from the House of Cancer, which is my zodiac sign. I just felt like I wasn't going to mesh well with the story, so I'm going to give it up, even though this is a gorgeous cover, and I love all the zodiacs in the back. I'm going to have to give it up, sadly. Maybe someone else will enjoy it. Next one I have is A Touch Mortal by Lee Clifford. I literally cannot remember the life of me what this is about. And I got this back in 8th grade, so not even 8th. I think I got it back in 10th grade, but that's still a long time. time to keep a book that you haven't read. So it's going in the bin. Next one I have is Uglies by Scott Westerfeld, which is going to sadden one of my best friends because she loves this series, but I'm just not interested, so I'm gonna give it up. I also hear that this series is continuing, and one thing I hate is riding the series train just so you can get more money, so I'm gonna give this one up. Next one I have is Second Honeymoon by James Patterson. I love Swimsuit by James Patterson, but I also hate Confessions of a Murder Suspect by James Patterson. So I have a love-hate relationship with James Patterson. I tried reading a little bit of this one, wasn't really intrigued by the mystery aspect of it. So I'm not going to make the same mistake I did with Confessions of a Murder Suspect. I'm going to go ahead and give this up to someone who might actually want to read it. Next one I have here is Prisoner of Night and Fog by Anne Blankman. I didn't really enjoy the first chapter of this. It's kind of like kind of did try a chapter of these ones, and I didn't really like it. So I'm gonna give it up. Despite the subject matter, it makes me sad. Sad, but I'm gonna give this up. Next one I'm gonna give up is Witchlanders by Lena Cookley. I got this in a book subscription box. Wasn't really interested in it, so I'm gonna give that up. Next one I have is White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I just don't really mesh well with this author's writing style, so I'm not gonna keep her books with me if I don't mesh with her writing style. So, now this one I'm torn on. I might read this, I might not. So comment down below if I should keep this one, and that's Wolf by Ryan Groden. I love her writing style, and I love her use of history and ways that she could make it her own. But at the same time, I'm a little confused about what's going on in this story. I guess that's the point. But let me know if I should keep Wolf by Ryan Groden. Not sure. Next one, also controversial, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I hear how bad this slut shames girls in it, and I'm not really down for relationships that start with cheating, no matter what kind of cheating it is. So I'm gonna sadly put this down. Now, the next one I have is, of course, I read the other books. Got to chapter something. Actually got to page 76 of this book, and that's Van Allen Legacy by Melissa De La Cruz, which is, I think, the 5th book in the Blue Blood series. So I got to this book. Actually, this is the 4th book. So I got to this 4th book. I tried reading it after so long, and I felt like I didn't have a connection to the characters anymore, so I'm foregoing this series, and sorry if anyone enjoys it. Next one I have is The Gathering by Kelly Armstrong. Now, I loved her previous series before this. I'm trying to remember. I think it was the Reckoning series. I like the Reckoning series by her. I tried reading The Gathering. I was really bored, and I'm just not really a huge fan of werewolf books. So I'm going to give this to someone who would enjoy it. Next one I have here is Fairy Ring by Kiki Hamilton. I got this in a book subscription box. Probably never going to read it, so gonna get that away. Next one I've tried. I really have tried to read this, and that's Teardrop by Lauren Kate. I guess I'm just not really meshing with Lauren Kate's writing style nowadays, which is really sad because this is a gorgeous cover and I don't want to give it up. But I'm gonna give it up to someone who would probably really appreciate this story. Next I have Wild Beauty by Anna Marie Macklemore. Makes me sad that I'm giving this up because this is a gorgeous exclusive Outcrate edition. I think if I give this one up, someone will definitely appreciate it. I'm just not really into figuring out about the story. The story, it sounded interesting, and this book is gorgeous, but I'm gonna give it to someone who will really appreciate, one, the exclusive cover, and two, the story in it. So, goodbye, Wild Beauty. Next one, I have The Selection by Kira Cast. Again, I think it's a little too teenager for me, even though, you know, obviously, I love YA. YA is my main genre of go-to. I'm just not really into trashy YA novels, and that's what The Selection is. So, next one, I have Room by Emma... I don't know how to pronounce half these last names. I am so sorry. Now, this is the movie adaptation cover. I hate the sticker that won't come off. I also don't really like how it's from the perspective of a 5-year-old child. Watching it is fine. Reading about it, not so much. I cringe at the grammatical errors. I'm guessing it's because my husband is an English major, but let's not get into that. Next one I have here is Harrison Squared by Daryl Gregory. I don't know what this is about. Guy in a book subscription box. Never gonna read it. So, next. I promise, I'm almost done. Next I have New World Rising by Jennifer Wilson. Again, got it on Owlcrate exclusive box. Not interested in the story. Again, I'm not interested in the story. Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Leviseller. This is a middle grade book. I wish they would have had it in Owlcrate Junior box instead of actual Owlcrate. And I hear this story's not really, the sequel isn't really that great. And I'm tired of books failing their sequels, so I'm gonna put this down since I got a lot more great books. Next I have Broken Hearts by R.L. Stine. It pains me to let go of an R.L. Stine book, but I'm not gonna read it. Same with The Girlfriend by R.L. Stine. Next I have The Glades, and this is just a free sample of the first script of The Glades, and I can just watch the first episode of The Glades, so I don't really need this book. But this one sounds to me because the cover is really cool and it's got Braille on it. But again, not really interested in the story, and that's Not If I See You First by Eric Lindstrom. I heard this is a good book. I'm just not interested. And last but not least, on my books I'm giving away, We'll Never Be Apart by Amiko Jean. I think I got halfway through this book before I realized we're not meshing well, and the story was going nowhere. So, which really saddens me, because look at this gorgeous cover. I love the cover art for this, but I'm not meshing all of the story, and that frustrates me whenever they give beautiful covers to stories that are trash. So, not gonna keep this book. So there you guys have it. That was my book Unhaul of the year. Comment down below and let me know what book you're sad to see me get rid of, or what's your opinion on some of these books I mentioned. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!